I don't know how I can justify something like that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if this is their job, but for me, it's my students, they're going to go do marketing. And if they can't do analytics, they can't do marketing. I mean, that's the world we live in, right, Damien? It's, you don't have a job. So my thing is, you're going to need this tool. You might as well get it. And you're never going to get it this cheap again. And you get to, and you know, when you leave, they don't take away your license for those 2 years or whatever, or that year. You can still use it. Once you demonstrate value, your company's going to get you that, no problem. But you can't just go and ask them for it without demonstrating that they're going to get value for it. That's usually how it works for my students.
Yeah.
And then they get jobs, and then they start telling the new students, I got a job doing this. And then it becomes easier for them to want to do it.
Yeah.
Ira, I'll talk with you offline. We'll work together to get this to make sense for you.
Yeah.
But I mean, ultimately, I'm still of the opinion, even if Canvas goes down which I've never seen Canvas actually go down. The only thing that I've seen issues with has been our login, that Okta thing, and that, you know,
that problem we had.
You know, it was because we brought on worst timing ever. Let's introduce a brand new LMS in the middle of COVID. You know, it just was bad. You know, it was just bad. It was unfortunate. But they've worked through it, and now it's, you know, it's just part of the sign-on. It's very easy. But my thing is, if everything is backed up, if everything is backed up in Canvas, then even in the worst situation, you could just shoot an email to your students and say, hey, I'm having trouble accessing WebEx. So we're gonna start 30 minutes later. IT's working on it. In the meantime, go do this. I mean, I can tell you that I've been, there was one crazy semester, and for those of you that are adjuncts, you'll laugh at this. I was teaching 9 courses between City Tech, St. John's, Monroe, and I think I was doing a class in the Trump Tower for the European School of Economics. It was this fly-by-night, well, whatever. Anyway, and they had somebody dropped out of being able to teach a course at St. John's. The chair was like, please, can you do this? I said, I can, but I'm going to be coming right from another course. And I had to take car service once a week that entire semester so that I could get from one to the other. Anyway, there were a couple times where I got caught in some serious traffic driving down from New Rochelle from Monroe. And I would message the students from my phone right through Blackboard and would notify them, okay, I'm going to be a little bit late. This is what you should do. And it was fine. And we have the technology. And in the worst situation, all of our content can be housed on Canvas. You can have everything built out ahead of time. You get stuck in another country coming back from a conference, no problem. It's all in Canvas. That's my approach. So I'll talk to you more about that, Ira. You've made so much progress. I don't want you to take any steps back. Cool? Okay. All right. So on the screen, you're going to see my happy mug. This was from yesterday, something that I recorded pretty easily. And the beauty of this is that you can record it right into Canvas directly. And so I'm going to go to the home, click on the home page, and I'm going to go to my welcome, which I think is just a placeholder right now. Yep, just a placeholder. And I'm just going to demonstrate exactly how I do this. So this is a page. So you can get to your pages through the pages link on the left. I created the welcome page. Actually, I'll show you all the pages. And so these are 5 different pages. And the welcome is the one that's the placeholder. So you create it, and then you click on edit. And this is the part that pulls in the video. And I'm just going to demonstrate for, let's see. So I'll keep that. And then right here, I'm going to do it. So nobody say anything because I'm going to do this live. So upload media, and I just hit record, and there you see me again. Hello, everyone. This is Professor D, and this is your welcome to Principles of Marketing. We're going to spend a lot of time together this semester talking about every possible corner of the marketing world. It is a very special time with COVID-19, but people still need to be involved with marketing. Products still need to be sold. Services still need to be promoted and sold to the masses. So we're going to get into all of it, and we're going to do it week by week, foundationally, and building up to a nice final project, which I will talk to you all about very soon. So dig into the Getting Started folder, go into the week 1 discussion and assignment, and make sure to fill out your survey, and we'll see each other on Wednesday, August 26th, from 5 to 7 p.m. See you soon. Bye-bye. Now, naturally, I would do that again because I screwed up at the end. But this is how easy it is. I'm going to just do welcome to the course. And now this is built right into the page. So when they click on this welcome page, they have the video. It'll pop up in a moment. It's processing, but it's super easy. And it's much easier than going the roundabout way through YouTube to record. And there I am, which is great. So you could rattle off an intro video each week for each module. And you don't have to open it up right away, but if you are using your CDM or your blueprint for your course, you know what you're going to be covering. And so you could get ahead of this and provide these. Or if you want to record your mini lectures, under 10 minutes, talking about a specific topic, this is another way that you can do it. I tend to do a lot of my videos in out in the wild, as I would say. I like to do them in the streets, in front of stores. I have a video that I recorded in front of a Russian Burger King because it was different. It's not Burger King, it's in Russian lettering. And I think the students appreciate it when you're not always in the same place doing your video. Excuse me. I've done one in the middle of a snowstorm, and they really like that because some of my students had never seen snow. Or somebody that they know in snow. I've done video in different countries around the world on, in front of major monuments. Again, my specialty is hospitality and tourism. So if I'm traveling, I try to record video wherever I can. I'll sit in front of a beautiful beach and the wind is going, and they will pay attention more. So your videos don't always have to be overly produced a la Tim, which is fine. But, at least in that, you can use that kind of production to tee up a video of you if you know how to splice those together. But this is really good, in Canvas for just doing quick little, this is 53 seconds. It's all it has to be. Obviously, your mini lectures, you're going to spend a little bit more time. Let me tell you about the 4 Ps of marketing, or 5 Ps, or depending on how you look at it. Let me tell you about this, and you go into it. That might be a good use for this as well. But I would just say try to mix it up. Even where Ira is, I love his background because it's very academic. He's got all this fun stuff. He's got books. Even if he just shifted, 90 degrees, the students will see it as a completely different background and a completely different environment. And so sometimes it's just a matter of, yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can make the adjustment. I will sit outside sometimes and I will record video. I will actually teach. I taught one of my classes last fall from my terrace in Istanbul. And the students ate it up. They loved it because here they have their professor. I didn't mail it in. I still taught the course, the class for that week, but I was in the middle of a conference and I said, look, I'm just going to do it live from where I was, which was Istanbul. And I had this beautiful Airbnb looking over the Bosphorus, beautiful. And you could actually see the Asia side and the European side. And so they really appreciated that. So video is what you want to make out of it. You know, but I love the fact that this just makes it so easy for our colleagues. One button, 3, 2, 1, do it. And it's automatically there. Who's this, Tim?
That's my producer, Max. Sorry.
Hi, Max.
Hi.
Max, is Tim doing a good job? Is he good talent to work with?
Yes.
Thumbs up? Okay.
All right, guys, I'm sorry.
I did not mean, I did, I.
Stop. Let's let them do their stuff, okay?
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm going back to mute. I apologize, guys.
Okay. What's funny is actually I posted something. I'm doing a lot of posts related to the TeachingMVP platform that I'm putting out there. And one of the things I say, you know, if your toddler wants to say hi, let them say hi, because the audience will love it. If you have a dog that wants to jump in your lap, let them jump in your lap, because the students will connect with you more. You know, I've done one of my most watched videos a long time ago was my nephew was so captivated by the fact that I was teaching a class via video or recording a video for my students that he just kept like getting into the shot, like, you know, just pushing his way in. Finally, I said, just come on, Sean. And he sat with me and I would ask him questions and he would respond and then we would just talk to the video. And it makes it more fun. And, you know, when we think about video, and this, I'll come to you back to YouTube in a moment, but I like to have some organization to what I want to cover. You know, today as a course, you know, these sessions rather, I really just want to keep them fluid and just address what people want to talk about. You know, I didn't have in my notes, I'm going to spend 20 minutes talking to Ira and getting him off the ledge. That was not part of my lesson plan. But, you know, if you're going to be doing a 7-minute mini lecture on a particular topic, you should have not a script, but points to make, highlights, keywords on an index card. And I always open up all my videos, you know, hello, this is Professor D. That's just my thing. And then I'll see you soon is what I generally say at the end, but it has a rhythm to the video so that there's energy at the beginning to get them going. And then I jump right into it. And where I can, I mention their names. You know, I'll say, you know, and Ira was talking about this the other day. And that's very intentional, just like I would in the classroom. And so I know that there's this little bit, it's just like social media. There's this little bit of chemical reaction that happens when people hear their voices, their names in a video. You know, when somebody gets mentioned in Twitter, they get all excited. You know, in Instagram, oh, you mentioned me? You know, if Beyonce mentions your name, you just fall over. You know, these are the things that are exciting for people. And it's the same thing for video on a very small level for our students, but it's still important. So in 7 minutes, you can mention a number of, I see Max's hand, that's funny. Yeah, you can see, you can cover a lot of ground with your students and cover a lot of topics. So just a simple index card, and I have a bunch of index cards all over here for other projects, and it allows me to keep things in mind and to stay on track. So that's usually how I organize my videos. And I would say that storytelling is a big part of it. Students are more likely to remember a story than they are a fact or a figure. So and I'll try to come up with one pretty quickly. If I was trying to demonstrate or illustrate the value of packaging for a product, I'm thinking marketing, and marketing's in my head right now. If I want to tell a story, then I might tell the story of a big vodka brand that when it first came out, how it just didn't sell, and then they took it back and then they repackaged it, and then all of a sudden it became one of the most, best-selling vodkas in the world. And all they changed was the label and the design. They didn't change what was inside the bottle. And if you tell that story, then it illustrates, what you're trying to get across, which is the value of packaging. And they won't forget that story, versus you just saying packaging is important, and products and services, if they're packaged properly, they sell better. That goes in one ear and out the other. But good stories, whether they're your stories or somebody else's, those make a difference. Welcome, Vladimir. It's important to try to bake those in. And if you have 7, 8, 9 minutes in a mini lecture that you're recording via video, you have plenty of time to put in a few of those stories. Maybe it's one really good one, but at least one. Now, if you can involve, also you can do a little bit of what I call, what is that, sketch comedy kind of approach, where maybe it's not sketch. What's the kind of comedy where you ask the audience to give you words and situations? Improv. There it is. Okay. I worked with the improv group at St. John's for a little while. That was a lot of fun. But you can do a little bit of improv with video. Even though you're recording it, you could create a situation using the students and some of the topics that you've been covering. So you could say, let me give you an example. Let's say that Zeta Lynette is walking down the street and she has her option. She's hungry. She wants to get a bite to eat. And on her left, she sees this one restaurant. And on her right, she sees a couple of other restaurants. She looks at the sandwich boards, and she looks at the signage, and she looks at this. But you know what makes the difference? It's that there is a host at the front smiling and being inviting that brought her in the door. And so that's the way that you could construct a story or an example or an illustration, and you're using the name of somebody in the crowd. And so they're gonna be more connected. I mean, Zeta Lynette's going to pay attention because I used her name, but other students are gonna be like, oh, that's my classmate. It makes it more personal. And so we can do a lot of this within video if we just map it out a little bit, okay? And it might be a little bit more than an index card, but part of the trick too is, if your camera's right here and I'm pointing to mine, you don't want to be looking too far off because they're gonna know that it's a script. But if you put something right next to the camera, so I have this little Post-it, I can put it literally right next to the camera, and the students aren't gonna notice. They're gonna think that you're still talking directly at them. And granted, I'm looking off to the side because all of you are on the right side of my screen, but very often I will move the picture of those that are in the session to the middle, right underneath the camera, or wherever the camera is. I mean, you could set up the camera so that it's off to the side and you could put your notes right underneath it. But these are just little tips and tricks to make sure that you're connecting as much as possible with your audience.
I have a question, Damien.
Yes, go ahead.
So if you have 40 students, do you make a map and say, okay, this if I make a story today, I'm going to use these students, and then next week I'm going to use these students, and then next week I'm going to make, so it's all laid out.
When you get to 40 students, I think you absolutely need a list. And maybe you just make it part of your bigger strategy, which is, you check off when you mention the student, you make it a thing where every 2 weeks, I'm going to mention a student at least once. So it could either be in the email that I send out to everybody. It could be in a video that's part of a mini lecture. It could be in the intro to this week's module. And so either way, you're giving them airtime. And if you do that effectively over, 2 weeks, then they still feel like you're connected with them. And this is in addition to giving them direct feedback. And you have the option to give them verbal feedback recorded. I know there's a couple ways to do that. And that's also a nice little touch if you can do that. But because we just demonstrated how easy it is to record video, you can send out a video response. Like I'll send out a video sometimes just to say, you know, here's some thoughts based on the homework that you submitted last week. And I'll send it out on Monday. And so that video is in addition to the intro video. And if they can watch it for 2 minutes rather than read something that's really long and sent to their email box amongst all these hundreds of other emails, that's another opportunity to mention their names. So you have a bunch of different ways to do that. I'm going to answer a couple questions. Yes, Vladimir, we are recording this and record all the sessions. And I'm actually going to demonstrate how I'm going to post one of the recordings in a moment. And I think Wayne said, I think storytelling is self-evident. Sure. Wayne, we'll do a little bit more of the more technical part of the video in just a second. So bear with me. So here we have the video, which we did in Canvas, which is pretty straightforward at this point. If you want me to do it again before we close, I can do that. But I'm just gonna save this now and I'll come back to it later. Even though I did have a little bit of an error in there, it's still fun. It's okay to make errors in your videos too, because it makes you more human. You know, if you trip up on something, you say something. I love watching blooper videos. They're hilarious. Granted, you don't want to do anything wrong. What were you saying, Tim?
One of my favorite speakers, he makes like $1 million a year speaking. His name is Marcus Buckingham. And he actually has this, talks about how he used to stutter. And so he'll make a point of the same speech, and he'll always do the fake mistake at the same time so that everyone thinks, oh, isn't that sweet? And I'm like, oh my God, I've seen him talk 35 times. It's exactly the same point, right? Because they actually, it's exactly what you said, Damien. They see you as human. Once you are open, make an error, and it's not something like a huge foible, right? They're in. You know, you're suddenly not the guru or whatever. You're one of them.
Yeah, no, I think it makes a big difference. Wayne, I'm going to come back to your question in a moment, but that we just talked a little bit about Studio yesterday. It's a little clunky the way that it's set up. It's really easy to record, but then it's a little bit difficult to, you have to pull it into your different pages. That's the way that it works. It's not as smooth as I thought it would be. It's not as smooth as just recording directly into a page, but it's the right approach. I think it's a very good approach. So I'm going to share my screen now, and I'm going right into, we're taking a completely different turn, and we're looking at YouTube, okay? And this is the way that I normally would do things previously. I would record either in QuickTime or directly to YouTube, and then I would take that video footage or Zoom, and I would take that video footage and I would upload it into YouTube, and then I would make some adjustments. So I'm halfway through it right now. So what you see in the left-hand corner, top left-hand corner, is a screenshot of the video that I recorded a couple days ago. And so it was the first session that we did to, you know, walk with me, talk about online pedagogy for St. John's. And basically you go into the video details and you provide a little bit of a description. And I think at this point, most of it's done. They're always going to ask you if it's made for kids. And I say, no, it's not made for kids. Because once you say yes, then you have to jump through a lot of different hoops. Now, I am violating one very big thing in doing this. I'm not doing the closed captions. This is just a recording of our conversation. It's not a video that I'm creating as a mini lecture for my students. Good practice is, and every once in a while you're going to get this message, videos that you create for your students that are going to be what we call kind of evergreen should have captions. Evergreen means it's a video that you could use this semester, next semester, for the next 5 years, because there are some students that need to see the captions. It's ADA, it's making sure that we are legally appropriate with our content. Now, YouTube does help you with the captions, but if you do it in another, on another platform, it's not sometimes as easy. I know that I'm working with one school teaching a course, and they spent all summer recording video and then creating captions. And it's not an easy thing to do. So if you read straight from a script, it's easier because you already have that script and you just plug it in as the captions. It can be time intensive. It's not as easy as just doing this, recording it and posting it. So just keep that in your mind. That's something that you might want to talk to with the instructional designers that you may be working with. Okay, so back to YouTube. So here I've recorded everything or put in everything that I need to, and it should be good to go. I've clicked save. I think it's all good. So I'm gonna go right to the page, and I'm gonna recreate this in a moment. But this is the video when it's done, and then you can just grab the link and you can send it to, you can post it.
I mean, this, what you're doing now.
So you can.
That's what I'm wondering. We start Monday.
So this is Father Bob.
Right.
You can hear his voice.
I like your idea that my comments are good.
And I'll just jump ahead.
Go up here to the link.
Yeah. Okay, this is similar to black.
Yeah. So this is the recording
Yeah, they all
from
borrow
a couple
from
days
each
ago.
other anyway, so.
So now I'm going to take the link right here. So I just copied it, and I'm going to go to another screen. One moment. And I'm going to go right back into the course. And so if I wanted to, instead of using this video, well, actually, I'm not going to put it in here, but if I wanted to, I could edit this page. And I could insert it here, watch this video. And I think most of you probably know how to do this, no problem, but it's as simple as just highlighting what you want to be a link. You click on external links over here, and that's going to be the YouTube, and it'll show a thumbnail, just a small little shot of the video, so that the students know what it kind of looks like. All right, so that's one way to do it. I'm going to back up and I'm going to do it from scratch. So I'm going to cancel this out. Yes.
Damien, if you wanted to upload a video, would it work exactly the same way?
Yeah, and that's what I'm actually going to demonstrate that. I just have to find, no problem. I just want to find, yeah, Wayne, you're bringing up some good things in the chat. I haven't messed around with Studio as much as I probably should have. Rosa brought it to my attention yesterday. I didn't even know we had it because I was using other methods to put the video in. It seems like it's a great idea. I just think it's a little clunky getting the videos from the Studio and putting it into other parts of your Canvas.
Oh, okay, so can you tell us where we should put those videos rather than in Studio?
So let me ask this question, Wayne. Are you taking the videos from YouTube and putting it into Studio?
Yes.
Okay, you are. Are you also recording some of your own videos in Studio?
No. My course is called Writing About Music, Movies, and TV. So I use a lot of music videos, like a couple of the new Beyonce videos from Black is King. And,
right.
Which I subscribe to the Disney Channel just to get. And so they have a couple of videos up on YouTube, and they're going to be part of the first week's discussion. And so where should I display them so students can access these videos?
Right. Okay, so I'm gonna take a step away from YouTube for a moment. I want to answer Wayne's question because I think it might be one that others have. So this is how I would do it. I'm gonna go right into, I'm gonna go into week 2, which hasn't been published, okay? And I'm gonna create a page. And I'm gonna say new page, and I'm gonna call it watch these videos, okay? I always indent. And I'm gonna do exactly what I think you did, Wayne, and I'm gonna go straight to YouTube, and I'm gonna find, of course, you're gonna see all my crazy videos that I listen to, my trance videos. Let's see, you said Black is King? Okay. So these are the trailers.
The second
Okay,
one
so
is
this
the
is,
video.
I'm gonna do this one because this is from my adopted country, Ghana. So
Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause it right there. So this is the link.
Right.
Okay. Now I'm gonna go back to here. So watch these videos. I'm gonna go back to the page that I created, and I'm gonna edit. I really like this video because there is a Ghanaian element. They're not gonna know what that means, but okay. And then I'm gonna go right here, and, oh no, actually I'm gonna do this. External links. And it's gonna allow me, let me say, Black is King. Spell. And if, I mean, I really should put the name, the actual title and the artist, but I'm just doing this quickly. And so the nice thing about this is that when this actually gets published, so right now it just looks as, this link will be replaced with an embedded YouTube video. It's very basic, but when the students see it, it's going to be actually a thumbnail of the video. See, just like this. So what I'm thinking, Wayne, is actually, it's good that you're putting things in Studio because that's a good way to collect content that you want to use at different points in the course.
Right.
But then maybe, I don't know if it's, maybe you would just copy and paste what you have in Studio and put it right into a page like this.
Got it.
Because if you want to show them multiple videos, say you want them to watch a collection of videos in one module in 1 week, then you could give them one page and have all the videos built in. So I think you use the Studio as a good place to put everything,
right? But
it's not as useful to be able to just throw it into things. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I know it's clear as mud, but I think Studio, I need to toy with it a little bit more to see how useful it can actually be. I think it's useful in terms of quick recording of videos. So, you know, Zeta Linet could go in there and record 10 videos in a series, all having to do with one module or one topical area, and then come back to it when she needs to, and put it into different pages, different discussions, different, you know, announcements. But if you're already pulling something off of YouTube and you already know where you want to put it, I wouldn't put it in Studio and then put it in a page. I would just go straight to the page, unless you want to keep all of your content, all of your video content in one place, so that you always have it for this course or another course. Does that help?
Yes, very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second, and I'm going to do an example of YouTube, and then we'll start to wrap because we're already over the hour. Let's see here. So what I do with Zoom is, and Zoom is another option as a platform. Now there's a zillion different platforms that you can actually use. But you could do this. I'm recording this right now. I can take this video and upload it into Canvas or Blackboard. I can also just take the audio, and I'll do this in a different session. I can take the audio and send it as an email to students, and they can listen to it as a podcast, basically a podcast, you know, just a recording of your voice versus needing to see the video. If you just want to talk to them, they don't need to see your face, you know? And so if that is an option, if you just want to tell them a story or explain something, then an audio option might be really good. And when you do that through Zoom, it breaks it up into different files already. So it's very easy. It's a lot easier than trying to do something with YouTube or what have you. If you have QuickTime, that's another option, but we don't need to use that. Historically, I've used QuickTime to record video because the quality is very, very good. And it makes it really easy to upload to YouTube. But Zoom actually does all of this. So I'm going to find a recording that I made yesterday for Zoom. And then I'm going to turn that into a video that we upload to YouTube. So just bear with me right 1 second. I'm just signing into my Zoom account, which should be automatic, but I'm in incognito mode. So when you go, actually, you probably want to see this. I don't know why I'm hiding it from you. Okay, I'm going to show you exactly how I'm doing this. Okay, so I've logged into Zoom. Okay, so this is my account. And granted, Zoom is not supported by St. John's. We're supposed to use WebEx or Microsoft Teams. But there are, if anybody was on the call yesterday, there are just some shortcomings of WebEx in terms of doing breakout rooms. So if you're going to do breakout rooms, you either need to use WebEx training, which I heard has some shortcomings as well, or you use Zoom. I bought a pro account. It's negligible. It's not that much per year. And it just makes it easier to be consistent with anybody that I'm doing these sessions with. And I'm going to use Zoom with my students throughout the semester. I just decided yesterday after going through that WebEx session, it didn't make sense. So here I am in my Zoom account, and I can schedule them. I can do all this stuff. What I'm looking for is my recordings. So you click on the recordings, and it's going to show you all the recordings that you've recorded to the cloud or local recordings. That's going to be one of the issues I think we're going to face as well, is with all of the content that's going to be produced this semester at St. John's, where is it all going to be stored? And I hope that they've anticipated that, because a 3-hour video takes up a lot of storage. And that's just one professor in 1 week, let alone how many others. So this was yesterday, the 20th. So right now I can find it because they have they have it right here. I'm not going to delete it, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste the location, and then I'm going to find it on my computer. And I know there's probably a smoother way of doing that, but oh, came right up. I don't know if you can see the window that just popped up, but I have an audio file, I have a playback, and then I have the actual video. And so the video I'm going to rename. I don't think, can you guys see this, what I'm doing? Or can you only see my browser? You can probably only see my browser. That's fine. All I'm doing is I found the file that I recorded to my computer from the session yesterday. Oh, and I'm going to rename it 820 MVP. Sure. Okay. So now I've saved it. It's on my laptop, and I'm going back to Beyonce page. And see this little icon right here with the plus sign? Can somebody say yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm going to just click on the plus sign, and it's going to give me the option to upload video. Of course, it's having me sign in because it doesn't know who I am. Sure. I'm in incognito mode, so it doesn't know who I am. Okay, go into plus, upload video. All right, so now I'm in the area. No, I don't need to know more. I just want to upload. So now it's just simple. It just says upload videos. I'm going to select the file, 820 MVP. MP4. There we go. So I found the file. So now it's just uploading it, and it's going to start to give me some options, and I'm going to put recording of August 20th session online pedagogy. Okay, see above. So right now it's going through the process of uploading video. It's 62%, 64, 65. And while it's doing this, you can know it's not made for kids, and you can go to the next screen, and you can add, if you want to add a little bit of pizzazz to it, you can add a little image at the beginning, which kicks it off. You can do an end credit, kind of an end credit thing as well, which I do once in a while, but for this, I don't think it's that necessary. And right now it's just going to sit there and process. But basically that's as simple as it is in terms of uploading content to YouTube. And then when it's done, actually I can hit next now. The link is already there. See this link right here? So I can copy that, and I can put it in an email, or I can add it to Canvas. I could add it right here if I wanted to this particular page. So hopefully, I know I just ran through that very quickly, but the main thing that you want to remember is the little plus sign at the top of the YouTube. As long as you're logged into YouTube under a Gmail account, and you press that plus sign, you'll be able to upload any content that you have. So if you do it through Zoom, if you do it through QuickTime, if you do it through another platform. Tim, what do you record most of your video on?
I record most of my video in Camtasia, actually.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's another platform. That's not one that I use, but you know, what do you see as the benefits of that platform?
It has a very simple system for running, because the system actually my system actually runs in as the camera, right, through the USB-C. And so you can just say record mic and camera, and it gives you the countdown, and you're done. And then it has really great simple editing tools built right in. So okay. That's really why.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you have to do what's comfortable for you. If you just want to record directly through Canvas, great. I mean, the quality is excellent. If you want to do it through QuickTime or Zoom or WebEx, and then take that and then put it up into your Canvas class page, that's fine too. It's really what's comfortable for you. Now that I know that Canvas does this, it's so simple that I'm probably just going to use it every time. If I'm doing a conversation, so there are going to be some times where I do a video where I'm having a conversation. So for instance, maybe Tim and we jump on a Zoom and we just riff on marketing in general. And we record it on Zoom, and then we take that video, he gives it to his class, I give it to mine. And it's just a simple way of capturing a conversation between two people. In the same way, you could do that with a guest speaker. You could have a conversation in advance and then record it and then give it to your students, which keeps it asynchronous. Or you could do it live with your students and invite them, but also record it just in case somebody misses it. You just take that video, put it right into Canvas. You know, there's a couple different steps to do it, but this is just one of the many that exist out there. Any questions at this point? I know I went through it so quickly with YouTube, but it used to be really difficult. They made it much easier, so. Any?
Is there a way how in Zoom recording you can actually then manipulate with the audio to
Yes.
remove all, you know, all these ups and downs that you have with your voice? Yeah.
I know that there's a way to do it because I have a friend who has created a whole recording studio around his Zoom account, but I'm not at that level. Actually, another friend actually is going to be here in a couple of hours, and I could ask him. He's a recording artist. He travels with, he does a lot of Broadway shows, and he's part of the band kind of thing. But he's been able to manipulate the settings. You have to go into advanced settings for Zoom, and there's all these things that you can do from an audio perspective. The other option that you could use is take your audio, however it comes out from Zoom, and put it into something like GarageBand, and then clean it up a little bit. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Zoom comes out with a setting where it just automatically cleans it up, kind of like, actually YouTube does that too. So if you pull the video into YouTube and you use it that way, there is a way to clean it up a little bit. And you just have to kind of go through it a little bit.
This has to be tight, okay?
I'll try to come up with another option. We're doing another session on video today at 4 p.m. So if anybody wants to come back, we'll dig a little bit deeper, and I'll try to do some more homework at that point. But those are all very good questions. And again, this is being recorded, so I'll make some notes and see if I can come back to that. Any last questions before we wrap?
This was great. Thank you.
Hope this is helpful.
Thanks a lot,
Yeah.
Damian.
Thank you, Damian.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. And we're going to be doing different sessions on different topics. I'm really excited about doing the one on audio because I think this is, you know, from an online learning perspective, this is where we get to jump ahead, because it is even the best people in online learning are not using podcasts. They're not using audio. And when we think about video in terms of the limitations, we know that students they'll taper off at 7 minutes and it just gets worse and worse. And after 10 minutes, forget about it. They're not going to watch the video unless it's John Wick or something really exciting. Or if, you know, Max gets in the shot and starts doing crazy things with his arms and hands, you know, then
We're
maybe,
done.
then maybe the students will pay attention. But audio, we can keep the attention of students longer because they are socialized to listen longer. My wife, even though she's not a student, my wife listens to a 2-hour podcast with Dax Shepard every day. That's 2 hours. So I think there's just something different about audio versus visual in terms of how much the students can take. So we'll explore that a little bit more. And I think I have a couple of ideas of how to do that. Zoom might be the easiest, but it might be as easy as just talking into your phone and then taking that audio file and distributing to your students. With that, I will say, have a lovely rest of the day, and maybe I'll see you guys at 4. And if not, have a great weekend.
All right. Thanks so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Damian.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Rosa.
And I have to know.
Bye, Max.